Good morning. It is morning where you are, correct?
Yes, it is. Is it you too?
Yeah, here in New
So,
York. You know
oh,
a thing or
nice.
two
That's
about
where
New
I live.
York.
Yup,
Exactly.
yup.
But this movie, Uppercut, made in Berlin, correct?
Yeah, no, the team came from Berlin, but we actually shot it, believe it or not, in Jersey.
Where in Jersey?
Um, I forgot the name. I forgot the name of it, but it wasn't too far from the path. It wasn't too far from the path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or at least my scenes, or at least my scenes. Yeah,
There you go. Well, thank you for
yeah.
taking the time. Uppercut's a different kind of role for you because Ms. Pat has very little to do with Uppercut. So you have this
Yeah.
interesting multifaceted career where you could do the Miss Pat stuff. You could pop up on a theater one-off for two alongside Casey Wilson. You could do this. What was the original goal for your career in terms of projects that you'd be doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, I just love telling stories, and so I believe in telling stories in whatever medium storytelling happens. You know what I mean? I love being able to jump from film to television to stage and all everywhere in between. Because I feel like it shouldn't be. Storytelling can't be in a box.
Right.
It's something that has to be able to live and breathe, and I want to be able to live and breathe with it. So it's cool that I've been able to do that so far.
Makes sense to me. In terms of
Yeah.
uppercut, was there a lot of prep needed? Because obviously boxing is physical, but mental, but you're also memorizing lines at the same time.
Yeah, there was a lot of prep, a lot of research, a lot of training. Thankfully, I just got off of Broadway, so my cardio was a little bit up because of those 8 shows a week. But
Yeah.
I had to jump into it, and I had to really get in shape and get that stamina up, and also really research boxing and watch a lot of professional boxing and some amateur boxing, as well as just my favorite boxing films because it's one of my favorite genre of films. It really
Hmm.
all came to me because I believe in manifesting things. And
Hmm.
I was watching Creed 3. I was in the theaters and I was watching Creed 3. And I was like, yo, I can't wait till I get to make a boxing film one day. I was like, I can't wait to just jump into that kind of role. And maybe about 2 months later, Uppercut came across my desk.
Wow, you did manifest
Yeah.
that one. Now, in terms of boxing movies, you just mentioned Creed 3, but what are some of your other favorites?
Oh, how can we not mention Rocky? How can we
Sure.
not mention Rocky? Just that whole universe, which I thought, what Ryan Coogler did with Creed was so brilliant. Like because it's just that universe is just amazing. And the Million Dollar Baby, of course. Um, what else? The Joe Lewis story. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but like there's so much that because they all kind of come from this underdog place. And I
Right.
think at its core, that's what I really enjoy is the underdog story and the idea of somebody either rising to the occasion or falling and not rising to the occasion, and then eventually making their way back to rising. That's a beautiful thing to watch.
You mentioned Rocky, you've mentioned Creed. How do you feel about Rocky 4? To me, it's so bad that it's the best Rocky by far.
It's like it's so camp. It's just camp. It's
Yeah.
almost aware of itself. Almost aware of itself.
Exactly. But hey, no, enough about Stallone. Back to you here. Did you know any of your castmates before landing this role?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I got a chance to, meet all of them while working on it. Of course, I've been a fan of Bing Rames for the longest, and
Sure.
Joanna's for the longest as well. And getting a chance to meet Louis, I know she had done the German version of the film as well in I think 2020 or 2021. And she just welcomed all of us with open arms. It was a great group of people, and Torsten was amazing. Everybody had great hearts, which is always a great heart is always good to work with.
For an underdog character like yourself, that makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
Uppercut, us, it's a new movie. You're just on Broadway for a bit. What's next? What's coming up that we're allowed to know at this point, Jordan?
Yeah, so I'm also in Freakier Friday, which is the Disney
Oh,
sequel to Freaky Friday, yeah, which is coming out with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. And that's another one that's the complete opposite of pain in this film. But I had so much fun making that film. We had a great time. So I can't wait for people to see it. And then I'm also coming back to New York with a new play of mine called Oh Happy Day, which I can't wait to step back on stage with that either in the fall. So that should be announced sometime soon. And and I'm working on my first directorial feature debut, which I can't speak too much about just yet, but I'm super excited about that. And then a couple other TV shows as well. And I'm literally on set right now for season 5 of Miss Pat.
Okay, that is really confusing because I call that how all the genres and types of projects contradict one another in a good way. But then when you take on a project, are you going to be on camera? Are you going to be producing, directing, writing, all the above? We don't know. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you manage to get that all done? Do you have people you can delegate things to, or do you just have no hobbies outside of work?
I just have no hobbies outside of work, literally. Literally. It's like I'm juggling all these things at once, but where I'm usually good at being wherever my feet are. So if my feet is planted there, I can be there and be present. And as soon as I leave, it's like boom, 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 gotta respond to this and finish that script and edit that one and make that cut and do all kinds of things.
Wow. Well, last question. Despite you just saying you have no hobbies, what's the last concert that you went to for fun?
Oh, that's a great question. The last concert that I went to for fun. I went to there Kirk Franklin did this like reunion tour concert where he like got like gospel legends for like because I'm a church kid from the South. So like he got like
Sure.
gospel legends from like the 70s and 80s all the way down to like the mid 2000s and put them in just one concert together. Insane. There's this group called the Clark Sisters who are like they're basically
Mhm.
like the female Jackson 5 back in the day. Like they were just beats, and they're like in their 60s and 70s now. And when they touch a stage, fire, just like no crumbs left. It can be a 20-year-old versus these 60s and 70-year-old women, and they're gonna win every single time. It's crazy.
There, I just learned yesterday Kirk Franklin is in a documentary that PBS is going to be showing soon called We Want the Funk. Tiny chance that
Oh,
I'll be talking to him for that. If so, I'll say hey from Jordan E. Cooper. But bottom line is,
yes, you got to do that for me.
congrats on Uppercut. Looking forward to all the future projects, man. Keep up the great
Thank you.
work and hustle.
Thank you, man.
And
Hope we get a
off the
chance to talk
record,
again soon.
Paltrocast.